Antipodes, a comprehensive exploration. The concept of antipodes is both geographical and philosophical, encompassing the idea of opposites, distance, and an intriguing relationship between 2 points on the Earth's surface. Derived from the Greek words anti, opposite, and pos, foot, the term antipode literally means opposite feet. In a geographical sense, it refers to 2 points on the Earth's surface that are diametrically opposite to each other. If you were to draw a straight line through the center of the Earth, the point on the exact opposite side of that line is considered the antipode. However, the term has also found its place in cultural, philosophical, and even literary contexts over time. This exploration of the antipodes will cover the geographical significance, scientific implications, and cultural understanding of the term. It will also touch upon the challenges and wonders of such opposites, both literal and metaphorical. 1. Geographical definition of antipodes. Geographically speaking, antipodes are the points on Earth's surface that are exact opposites. For instance, if you could dig straight through the Earth from one point, you would emerge at the antipode of that point. Given that the Earth is a sphere, roughly, antipodal points are separated by approximately 20,000 kilometers, 12,400 miles, or half of Earth's circumference. These 2 points form a straight line through the planet's core. The idea that 2 places on the planet could be entirely opposite to each other is not just an abstract concept, but one that can be practically mapped and understood with basic geometry and geography. A common misperception is that many points in the northern hemisphere have antipodes in the southern hemisphere. However, because about 71% of the Earth's surface is covered by oceans, most land-based locations do not have land-based antipodes. More often than not, the antipodal point of a landmass is located in the ocean. Number 1.1 Antipodes in geography. An easy way to understand antipodes is to consider them in terms of latitude and longitude. For any location on Earth, the antipodal point can be found by taking the following steps. Latitude: if a point is at a northern latitude, the antipodal point will be at the same degree of latitude but in the southern hemisphere, and vice versa. For example, a point at 40 degrees north latitude would have its antipode at 40 degrees south latitude. Longitude: to find the opposite longitude, subtract the current longitude from 180 degrees. For instance, if the longitude of a point is 70 degrees west, the antipodal longitude will be 110 degrees east. 180 degrees 70 degrees equals 110 degrees. Number 1.2 Examples of geographical antipodes. Here are a few examples of well-known locations and their antipodes. Madrid, Spain is roughly antipodal to Wellington, New Zealand. Buenos Aires, Argentina is antipodal to a location in the East China Sea, off the coast of Shanghai, China. Beijing, China is antipodal to Montevideo, Uruguay. Hawaii, USA is nearly antipodal to Botswana in southern Africa. New York City, USA, on the other hand, does not have a land-based antipode. The antipodal point of New York City lies in the Indian Ocean, south of Madagascar. 2. Antipodes in science. In the realm of science, particularly in geology, the study of antipodes provides valuable insights into the structure of the Earth, tectonic movements, and the distribution of landmasses and oceans. Number 2.1 Seismic waves and antipodes. One important application of antipodes in science is in the study of seismic waves. When an earthquake occurs, seismic waves are generated that travel through the Earth. These waves spread out in all directions from the epicenter of the quake and can be detected by seismic stations around the world. Interestingly, the point on Earth's surface exactly opposite to the epicenter, its antipode, can sometimes experience a concentration of these seismic waves. This is because the seismic waves traveling through the Earth's core can converge at the antipodal point. This phenomenon provides scientists with critical data about the Earth's inner structure, particularly the properties of its core. Number 2.2 Gravity and antipodal points. Another interesting aspect of antipodes in science is related to gravitational forces. The Earth is not a perfect sphere, it is slightly flattened at the poles and bulging at the equator. Because of this, gravity is not distributed evenly across the Earth's surface. In theory, the gravitational pull experienced at two antipodal points should be very similar, though local geological conditions, such as mountain ranges, deep-sea trenches, and varying densities in the Earth's crust, can cause small differences. Number 2.3 Antipodes and climate. The climate of two antipodal points on the Earth can differ drastically due to their positions in opposite hemispheres. While one point may be experiencing summer, the other could be in the middle of winter. However, the actual climates of antipodal points depend on their specific latitudes and environments. For example, antipodal points that both lie in ocean regions will likely have marine climates, whereas land-based antipodes will have climates that reflect their geographic conditions. 3. Cultural and historical significance of antipodes. The concept of antipodes has played a role in various cultures throughout history. For ancient civilizations, the idea of people or lands on the opposite side of the world was often mysterious or speculative. Some cultures even considered the existence of antipodes as a philosophical or theological question rather than a scientific one. Number 3.1 Antipodes. In ancient philosophy, the concept of antipodes was debated by ancient Greek philosophers. Pythagoras is credited with being among the first to suggest the Earth was spherical, which naturally led to the question of what lay on the other side of the world. Aristotle, another influential Greek thinker, believed that the Earth was spherical and argued that antipodal regions must exist. However, he also suggested that such places were uninhabitable due to extreme temperatures. By the Middle Ages, European scholars continued to discuss the existence of antipodes, though the idea remained largely speculative. Early Christian thinkers, including St. Augustine, were skeptical of the idea of antipodes, as it raised theological concerns about the presence of people living on the other side of the world, people who would not have been aware of the Christian doctrine. As exploration and navigation advanced during the Age of Discovery, these philosophical debates gave way to scientific understanding. Number 3.2 Antipodes in literature. In literature, the concept of antipodes has often been used to symbolize extreme differences or opposites. In Western literature, the term antipode became a metaphor for anything that was completely opposite or foreign. One notable use of the term appears in Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels, where the protagonist encounters people from various strange lands, some of which are described as being at the antipodes of Europe. In such literary works, the antipode was not only a geographical concept but also a metaphor for alien or upside-down worlds with cultures, beliefs, and practices entirely different from those familiar to the protagonist. 4. Challenges and mysteries of antipodes. Although the idea of antipodes is straightforward in theory, there are several interesting challenges and mysteries associated with antipodal points. Number 4.1 Reaching antipodal points. Traveling to antipodal points is no easy feat, given that most land-based locations have antipodes in remote oceanic regions. Even if two land-based antipodes exist, they may be separated by vast distances, requiring extensive travel by air or sea. For example, someone in Madrid wishing to visit their antipode in Wellington would need to fly across multiple continents and oceans. The challenge of reaching an antipodal point has intrigued explorers and adventurers. Some have undertaken the goal of traveling from one point on Earth to its antipode as part of a circumnavigation or a test of endurance. Such journeys typically require careful planning, as the travel routes often involve multiple modes of transportation. Number 4.2 Antipodes and the Earth rotation. The Earth's rotation adds another layer of complexity to the study of antipodes. Because the Earth rotates on its axis, the position of a point and its antipode are constantly changing relative to the Sun and other celestial bodies. This has implications for time zones, seasons, and even the way in which sunlight and moonlight reach different parts of the globe. 5. Philosophical and metaphorical understanding of antipodes. Beyond its geographical and scientific meaning, the concept of antipodes has been used metaphorically to describe opposites in human experience. This can be applied to philosophy, sociology, and even psychology, where the notion of antipodes represents contrasts, dualities, and the balance between extremes. Number 5.1 Philosophical dualities in philosophy. Antipodes can symbolize the idea of duality, the existence of two opposing forces or ideas that are interconnected. Much like the physical reality of antipodal points on Earth, which are far apart but intrinsically linked by the same globe, philosophical dualities may represent opposing thoughts, beliefs, or conditions that are ultimately part of a larger whole. Number 5.2 Cultural opposites in cultural contexts. Antipodes may also refer to the differences between societies that are geographically distant. The term has been used to describe the contrast between Western and Eastern civilizations, for instance, or the opposites in cultural norms and practices between the Northern and Southern hemispheres. Number 5.3 Psychological antipodes in psychology. The term antipode can be applied to describe opposite tendencies or characteristics within an individual. For example, a person might experience conflicting desires or emotions that seem to pull them in opposite directions, much like the geographical concept of antipodes. 6. Modern-day relevance of antipodes in the modern world. The concept of antipodes remains relevant in various fields of study. From geography and geology to philosophy and literature, the idea of opposites on the Earth's surface continues to captivate human curiosity. Number 6.1 Educational and scientific tools. With the advent of technology, it is easier than ever to identify antipodal points using digital tools. There are several online resources that allow users to input a location and instantly discover its antipode. These tools are valuable for educational purposes, allowing students and researchers to explore the relationship between different parts of the Earth. Number 6.2 Environmental studies. Antipodal studies can also play a role in environmental research, particularly in understanding global climate patterns, tectonic movements, and the distribution of natural resources. By studying the relationships between antipodal points, scientists can gain insights into the ways in which different parts of the Earth are connected and influenced by each other. Conclusion: the concept of antipodes is a fascinating blend of geography, science, philosophy, and culture. At its core, it represents the idea of opposites, two points on the Earth that are as far apart as possible, yet inextricably linked by the globe itself. Whether in the context of seismic activity, philosophical musings, or literary metaphors, antipodes continue to serve as a powerful symbol of duality, distance, and the interconnectedness of our world. While most antipodal points lie in remote oceans, the idea of two places being direct opposites has captivated human imagination for centuries, offering a unique perspective on the structure of our planet and the relationship between its many